Hello, my name's Jane and I'm the Cornish knitter. If you're joining my channel for the first time today, I'm here to talk about all my knitting projects and crochet projects. I'm based in Falmouth in Cornwall and I also have a yarn shop. This is Bailey, who's muscling in on the action at the moment. I will get rid of him and his squeaky toy and get him settled, and we're going to talk about my works in progress and about yarn that I've got set aside for projects. And I want you to help me decide, should I finish these projects, should I frog them, or should I repurpose the yarn that I've been using or I've got set aside? So I need your help, guys. I'm actually back where I recorded my first video, back in my front room with my knitting books to my side here. And yeah, as I was sort of planning to record this one, I was just like, goodness me, how nervous I was on that first one and how pale I looked too. If you've been with me from the start or caught my first one, you'll have recognised this setup. Usually I do my vlogs in the shop. But I thought today, because I've got so many works in progress and so much yarn set aside for projects, I thought it would be much easier to do it at home. And I'm going to talk you through what I've got on the needles, what I've sort of set aside. I've got, my yarn stash is enormous. I could do a massive video on my yarn stash. Do let me know if that interests you, maybe one day, but it would be a long episode. But these projects are not ones that I've sort of been working on currently. They are ones that have been sat in project bags in my sort of home and just languishing there. And I sort of occasionally dig them out and look at them and think, shall I, shan't I? Some of them are in quite advanced stages and you think, oh, really, I should get on and finish that. But then the newest pattern comes out and you're sort of tempted to start knitting on that one, or new yarn comes into the shop and I'm like, oh, I must knit a sample so I can showcase that yarn. So some of these haven't had much love for quite a long time, because I can't always get the pictures up when I need to. I'm going to try and show you the pictures either on my iPad screen or I've got the actual physical patterns and I'll hold them up so that you can sort of appreciate the things that I'm talking about. So where shall I start? What's the first work in progress? I think I'll start with these socks. So they are the Loppe socks by Fibre Tales, and I really liked them because they have some colour work in them and I just love the colours. And I decided to cast on in very similar colours to the original pattern, as you can see. So they are colour work, and I've only knitted, well, this is the first sock. I certainly haven't done the second one. It's a heel flap and gusset construction, you know, basic standard sock construction, just with some colour work. I actually love how it looks. My probably reticence in finishing these was that they are a little bit snug here, and because it's colour work and, you know, I've got my floats inside, I'm just wondering if I've done my floats a little too tight and haven't got my tension. Oh, and I've just dropped a stitch. That's a trouble with being on shorties, isn't it? That it's so easy to drop a stitch. Just save that one. I should have needle stoppers on the end of it, really. I might pop that onto I think I might pop that onto Magic Loop, onto a long cable, and just try it on again. But I do love it. But what do you think, guys? Do you think I should rip it out, frog it, and start again? Or just continue on and know that it will stretch or will give a little bit when I finish? Because I think the design is lovely. So that's in a little project bag. This is project bag is by Wild and Bare Fibres. I talked about Amy and her project bags last time. She makes some lovely handmade bags, and I just loved this little one for there she is on the back. I do check her out on her website and her Instagram, because she's always making bags and they're quite unique. So do give Amy a follow. But yeah, what shall I do with that one? So that's my first one. Then this does go back, this next one. So this, oh, look at this bag. Massive, great bag. This bag is from Eldenwood Fibres. So I know a number of you might follow her on Instagram, and she's got a great YouTube channel too, so go and give her a follow. But this contains, and this is, oh, I just dropped out. This is the Shan sweater by Elizabeth Doherty, and I'll try and put these all up underneath. So I haven't got very far on this one. So it's a top down construction. Ooh, a little bit of colour work, but it's sort of quite a funny colour work. I'm not sure about it. The yarn is gorgeous. It's Uist yarn, and we have got some of this actually in the shop. Love the yarn. I'm just trying to see if I've got a label that I can talk you through actually what's in it. So it is made in obviously North Uist in the Outer Hebrides, and it's a mixture of Cheviot, Texel and Zwartpels, double knit, and this pattern is actually, the original design is done in this yarn, and that's where I sort of got the colours, and I got it before we ever had the yarn in the shop. But I just don't know. I don't know about this, whether the neck seems really wide for a start. You then go back and pick up the stitches. I'll go that way. You pick up the stitches to do the neckline, but I literally only got that far with it, and I'm not really sure whether, I'm not really feeling the love for it. I love the pattern when I see it, if I show you it again. So I do love that pattern, but I'm not sure whether that neckline would irritate me because it's quite big. So again, Shan, yay, nay, finish frog it or repurpose the yarn, or shall I persevere and finish it? Your thoughts on that one? So the next project, the one I've got in work in progress, is so I should say the Shan one probably been stuck. I probably worked intensively on it for about 3 nights, and I was like, not really feeling this one. And that was probably about, I think it might even be pre-COVID. It's been a while that's been sat there, and I've not done anything with it. So it's possibly telling me something, but hey, I would really appreciate your thoughts. My next one is the Harlow hat by Andrea Mowry, which is a brioche, simple sort of brioche 2x2 colour brioche hat. It was my first attempt at brioche. I have gone on to do brioche on different shawl patterns since, but this was my first attempt at brioche using 2-colour brioche. It sort of does go down like that. I mean, it's a super squishy project, but I sort of feel like brioche is from the devil. I'm not a massive fan of doing it. I'm not necessarily a massive fan of the end result. I persevered, and then I'm doing the decreases, I think. So it's so very, like, there's a very little bit left to do. But I'm really not sure. I did it in Yarnadelic by John Arbon, 2 colours by them. So it's a lovely yarn. So it just took 50 grams of each colour. But yeah, will I wear this? Will I finish it? I don't know. Now I've got it out, I'm looking at it, I'm thinking I've got so little left to do that I probably should finish this one, shouldn't I? If nothing else, because it was my first brioche. But as I say, you know, when I look at patterns and I see brioche in it, and I know Andrea Mowry has many patterns with brioche in, it's sort of like, it just doesn't particularly do it for me. I'd love to know your thoughts on brioche. people. You know, I know some of the customers in the shop really love it, but others are sort of like me. I think part of it is when you make a mistake with brioche, and I know you can put in lifelines and whatever, it sort of takes for ages, and certainly with the hat, because if you look here, you know, you're doing this bit where you're working from the row below. That's what it's like on the reverse side, guys, as well, where the rust is more dominant. And I have made mistakes on this. Look, so there, can you see? I've obviously made a mistake there, and then here at the back, I obviously did something wrong here. So I should probably rip it out anyway, because they would bother me. I think they'd bother me. So maybe, I don't know. Let me put it the reverse way. That's the reverse way. What are your thoughts? Really don't know with this one whether to persevere and accept mistakes and think, actually, is anybody else going to notice them? Or rip it back, start again, although I'm so close to finishing it. As you can see, my quandary on this one, I really don't know where to go with it, whether it's worth me finishing it, and would I wear it if I do. Still don't know. I'm really undecided on that. One of the yarns that I've got put aside for something, and it is for, bring up my iPad, and hopefully this is, I've got it so that you can see it, so it's not too shiny, is the Love Note. So I'm sure you're all familiar with that pattern by Tin Can Knits. And I've already got one of these in Cirro by the Fibre Company, and I did it in like a really pale sort of shell pink, and I'd wound, and this is all wound, so this is probably, if it wasn't wound, I'd probably put it back into shop stock. Shall I knit another Love Note in that colour? What do you think? Colour wise, I mean, you'll see a theme in the colours that I bring up with my past, you know, my works in progress, my knits. You'll see that there's blue, grey, green and pink feature quite heavily. When I got them all out, I was like, I can see what colours I go to. I must change that up a bit, potentially. But yeah, what do you think? Oh, that's not good. It's gone for a little walk. What do you think? Yay or nay, or should I do something else entirely with it? I love the Love Note pattern. I really enjoyed knitting it. I love the pink version, although it's a sample in the shop, which has probably been tried on, goodness no, multiple times by other people. So I've never really got to wear it very often. But yeah, thoughts, people, on that. Now so this is by Elton Wood Crafts as well, another lovely bag from them. Really pretty. I love her bag. She really does make beautifully finished bags. She uses lovely fabrics, and the bags are sort of really gorgeous. So I really love these. But this pattern here, so, and again, it's one I've knitted before for the shop. This is the Olive Wrap, or is it Olives Wrap? Olives Wrap. Knitting for Olive. Again, I've knitted one of these in the shop. In, what did I knit that in? I knitted that in balayage. It's quite, although it's only a baby top, it's quite a long, oh, excuse me, long knit. So I'm knitting this one in, so it is, oh, this yarn here by Camarose, and anybody that's from Denmark, I am going to crucify how you pronounce this, so apologies in advance. So it's Økologisk Summerald, so a completely awful pronunciation. but it's 70% organic merino wool and 30% organic cotton. We have this in the shop. I was knitting this as another sample. I'm just looking in here. So it is in those two colours that I was knitting it. I really thought that was a good unisex sort of colour. This is the little sleeve, so it's easier to see what it's looking like. So I've got, you know, this is one that you knit from memory, because it's a while since you knit from the bottom up and then you join in the sleeves. Oh, I can't remember. It's not on any needles now. So long since I've knitted it. Oh, it is on a needle. I've got it on needle stoppers. I was like, goodness, I'm not going to pick up all of those stitches. So that's how long it is. And then you, obviously, because it's a wrap, you wrap it around like so. So I was knitting a sort of slightly bigger size for this sample, but it's quite a bit of knitting. So I've got the sleeve, I've got the bottom. So all I'm going to be doing now is another sleeve and then just this top bit and the edging at the top. It has a picot edge on it. So you do that thing where you knit a couple of rows, and this is like a purled sort of, no, so this one hasn't got a picot. This is a purled edging, so that sort of tidies that up at the edge. But again, I think I put this aside last year and started knitting this last summer. I think I probably put it aside because I'd probably got fed up knitting that bit because it was quite boring. And then it was like a summer weight yarn, and it was perhaps a bit later on in the summer by the time I got to that point, and I thought, actually, put it aside, Jane, because that yarn's probably not going to be that popular out of season. Although it's 70% merino. I don't know why I thought that, but it was probably just an excuse in my head. An excuse not to do it. But yeah, again, shall I persevere and finish that? It's not for anybody, it's for the shop. But part of me saying we haven't got any samples in that yarn, so probably I should continue and knit that as well. Crochet wise, I don't know if you remember last year when I was doing my original. So I've been crocheting this blanket. It is getting quite big, and it is the Cozy Comfort blanket by Shan of Blue Fern Yarns. Now I was making this, I had Blue Fern Yarns last year. I had Shannon's subscription service, so she did a monthly, like 5 minis a month, and you could have it in 4-ply or DK. So I got it in DK, and each different sort of colour that ranges from January right through to, and I think I got to either July or August here. And I was holding it alongside each colour. I was holding it alongside some drops alpaca, which I just had in a grey, because what I wanted to do was sort of subtly create that sort of fade right through. It's all tangled together. And I stopped it when the weather got warmer last summer, and I've just not picked it up again. And I should, but again, we're sort of coming towards the end. Hopefully, please let us be coming towards the end of the sort of darker, miserable weather. And this is quite a heavy blanket to be working on. And it's quite warm, because it's sort of, when it's on your lap, it's sort of quite, it was a great one for winter. And why on earth I didn't pick it up for winter, just picking up the threads, why on earth I didn't pick it up again this winter, I don't know, because I should have done. And now I've got it out, I'm like regretting that. But maybe I could work on it for a month. It's such a quick, simple way of doing it. So maybe I can work on it for a month until the weather gets much warmer, and get to, I don't know, about October, and then I've only got a couple of months to go. So your thoughts on that one would be good, but I think I've got so far. I'm going to finish that, and I need to press on and do it. So another one, and this is, again, this is pre me even opening Stitches and Cream, and Stitches and Cream has been open for five and a bit years. It was one I got from Loppe of London, and it is the, Tadami shawl. Hopefully the light's not too shiny. There it is on the back. You can see this is well crumpled. And the pattern is in Ito, the yarn Ito, Japanese yarn. I think it's probably their own design because I can't see, it's provided by Ito yarns. And I didn't get very far. Oh, get this out of my bag. So this was the shawl. So it's basically a really long sort of scarf, and this yarn is stunning. It is cashmere, 100% cashmere, so it wasn't cheap. And I'd chosen the 2 colours of the original pattern, but I've literally only got that far. I think this is sort of like something I could work on in the summer because it is so light. It's like gossamer. So although the needles aren't that small, I'm just trying to look at what size those needles are. Or Knit Pro, why don't you put the size on your needles? Oh, that's because they are an interchangeable needle, but still you'd think that they would have the size on them. Let me have a look at the pattern. The pattern says, so the yarn is cashmere and then the needles are 4mm. I'm looking at that, I thought, so they are quite a big size needle for such a fine yarn. But yeah, sort of like that has been literally, it was quite useful doing this process actually, because I don't know about you, but when you start looking at your works, you find them hidden all over the place and you're like, oh, actually, I really quite like that. So I think I will do that. What speed I will do that, because it's a long scarf. It's probably one of those that I'll pick up. It'll probably take me another 5 years to finish it. Just the bag as well. One of the Emma Ball bags. Emma Ball, lovely sort of knitting accessory, and also she makes lovely sort of homeware. British company, and I've always loved this particular one. The pigs in sweaters, penguins in knitwear is lovely. So yeah, that one I think I will go on and finish. But yeah, anybody that's knitted it or done it, I would really love hearing from you, to hear how you found it and whether you loved it at the end. I did see the full sample, I think, at Loppe. It was when I was working in London. I used to go into Loppe all the time. In fact, Loppe really was the inspiration behind Stitches and Cream. It was, I was going to be leaving my job in London after many years of working there and commuting up and back to Cornwall every weekend. And whilst that commute was pretty grim most of the time, it was lovely to have access to all the beautiful yarn shops that were in London, and Loppe was a particular favourite of mine. And when I'd made the decision to actually stop and working in London and stay permanently back in Cornwall and work from there, my primary thought was, where on earth am I going to get these lovely yarns from? You know, where am I going to get my fix to yarn? And it was that really was the decision, which sort of made me make the decision to talk to my sister, and we opened Stitches and Cream, because I thought, actually, I think this could work in Cornwall. Obviously our model is quite different to Loppe. They sell beautiful yarns, but as yarn, sort of, we've really focused on buying from small businesses, and predominantly UK yarn or UK small businesses run by women. But Loppe has some fabulous yarns and some lovely patterns, and I haven't been in there for a long time because I don't go to London anywhere near as regularly as I used to. But I am going up next month, so I will probably pop my head in and just see if there's anything in there. Oh, there's bound to be lots in there that catches my eye. But I really don't need any more for my stash, so I need to be disciplined if I do go in there. But yeah, if you're in London and you've not been to Loppe, do give it. It's near the Angel tube station, just a short walk away. So another yarn that I've got in my stash, which I was gifted from Anton actually when he was in New Zealand last year. He gifted me this yarn, which is, any of you that are from New Zealand who are watching, it is Zelana Rimu, which is a double knit yarn, and I believe it's possum. Yeah, partly possum, so 60% merino, 40% possum. And I was going to knit a stripy Sophie scarf, or Sophie scarf, not the shawl. Anybody knitted with this? And do you think that's a good choice for this, or what else would you do with it? Because it's, how much, what's the meterage like? I can't see the meterage on it. Oh right, it's 128 meters. So in total I've just got about 250 meters of DK yarn there. So what could I do with that? Certainly I think a little scarfette, or I don't want to do mittens with it. I do like the nautical, it reminds me of Cornwall, Cornish stripes. I mean, you see anything like Cornish pottery, Cornish homeware, it's often blue and cream striped. So that's sort of calling to me. But if anybody's got any other suggestions about what I could do with this yarn, what's it like against my neck? Yeah, it'd be fine against my neck. Some yarns I'm a little bit sensitive to if it's directly against my skin, but that feels like it would be fine. So that's another one. Now, one project that I have been working on is, I'm a huge Kate Davis fan. This is Kate Davis, this sweater, and I'll have to go back and look at what this was, this cardigan. It was a steek. It was my first steek. Those of you that have been watching for a while, you remember how nervous I was about this. The yarn is Herd, double knit Herd, which is Blue Face Leicester, which is a lovely yarn. But anyway, I love all of Kate Davis's patterns. I love her style. I love her way she writes her patterns. And this was probably my first one, which is the Stroy here. So those of you can see it. So I was knitting this, and again this sweater I think has been put away, and I've got loads of balls attached to this, so excuse me a minute whilst I drag it all over. So this sweater, so this is the colourway that I was knitting it in. So you knit it from the bottom up. There you are. I'll hold it a bit closer for you. You knit it from the bottom up, and then when you get to just under the arms, you pause and you knit the arms, which you can see I've done one arm, and I've got a good way up another one as well. And then you join it all together, and then you knit the yoke up from there. So as you can see, I've actually done quite a bit of it. I think what stopped me, well, I don't really know what stopped me. What am I knitting it in? I'm knitting it in Kriya Deluxe Wool 1, number 1. I'm doing it in a cream and this sort of sultry pink, plus their matching silk mohair, sorry, held alongside of it. So I love the colour and I love the pattern. It's just probably me being a bit lazy. And again, it's one of those, I think, now I've got it out and looked at it and thought, actually it's a beautiful sweater. I should get on and finish it. So it's maybe, now I've got it out, I need to put it in a more prominent place, and think about actually going on and finishing it. So What do you think, guys? Should I crack on and finish that and then show you it on one of my future YouTube videos? You'll be able to know whether I've done it or not. Perhaps you'll be the incentive to make sure that I get on and finish it. So another yarn that I sort of this is called, I'm possibly going to get the name of this wrong. I think this is called the Big Dicky. Might have got this totally wrong. Which is a tabard. I hope you can see it without any reflection on it. Which is a tabard knitted in Loppe by Fibre Company. And I'm just picking out the colours that I'd chosen to do this in. That, and there was a blue somewhere as well. Where have I put that blue? It's Cornwall. Oh, there it is. Cornwall about underneath. I've fallen underneath the sofa. So main body in the dark grey, and then those three colours. I think why I liked this is I can't remember the technique, but this bit here is sort of done over the, looks like it's done over the surface. So I quite liked the technique and the texture. But what do you think? Oh, you don't want to see that. What do you think? Should I do that? Probably one I won't do until after the summer. But should I carry on and do that? I do like these tabards because if I wear a coat, I don't always like the bulk of sleeves underneath the coat. So they are quite nice for just slipping under a coat. They're nice around your face. If I'm perfectly truthful, just as I was prepping for this video and I got this out, I thought, actually, I'm going to reuse that, repurpose that yarn. I'm not going to use it for that. But now I've looked at it again, I'm like, shall I do it? Again, it would probably end up in the shop as a sample to start with, but ultimately it could be one that I would wear too. What are your thoughts, people? What do you think about that pattern? Should I crack on and do it in those three colours as well? I'm really undecided about that one, so that's one I could really do with your help with. Oh, that was the picture. I did download a picture of the Cozy Comfort blanket by Shan Long, if you're looking on Ravelry too. So I'm nearly there. I feel like I've got an awful lot of stuff here that I've not done. There's a couple of others yarns that I've got set aside. This one here is the Linen Quill by Purl Soho. In what colours these? Oh, I can't see where the colour is actually. One colour is dark denim and the other is lychee pink. That's a good name for that one actually. So this was going to be the half and half wrap. I haven't got a picture of it in front of me, but I think everybody who's a knitter will have heard of Purl Soho's half and half wrap. And about, 18 months ago, everybody, literally everybody seemed to be knitting one of those. And I sort of was like, what is all the hype about? Particularly about this yarn, you know, why is everybody raving about this yarn? And so I ordered some. I've also got like a coffee and a cream pair of skeins to do the same pattern. But I've just never started it. I don't know. I know a lot of people used it as a sort of backup project where if you were doing other things and you just wanted a bit of a palette cleanser, or you were traveling and didn't have to think. I've not done it yet. And maybe I should cast it on and just have it available. But anybody that's knitted the half and half wrap, what are your thoughts, guys? Is it worth it? Or was that just hype at the time? Or I think Bailey's going to come and visit me in a moment, so I'm just clearing the deck slightly. He's being very needy this afternoon. This is why I don't always film from home, because the dog feels that he needs to get in on the action sometimes. Yeah, is it worth it? or should I use this yarn for something else? Yeah, it's been sat there for, well, since all the hype about the half and half wrap. Here's Bailey. Hello, Bailey Boo. As I said, he's been really needy. I don't know why. He's probably getting, because it's near his dinner time. Yeah. We're nearly finished. Are you okay if I carry on? Yeah. Do you think? My last one, baby. My last one is I'd caked up these 3 yarns. I'll probably do them like that. I'd caked up these 3 yarns, which is wool decanted. They're vintage 23 yarn. So you can see the colours. That's like a deep aubergine, sort of a lovely sagey green, and that sort of lovely heathery pink. These are 50 grams each, and I'm pretty certain it was the 4-ply I caked. Is it 4-ply? Yeah, so it is 225 meters in each skein, and I was going to knit a shawl or something in these 3 colours, but I haven't decided on a pattern. Anybody got any suggestions? I don't want to cake any more of it, I just want to knit it. And it is, again, probably a sample for the shop, but these colours are my sort of colours, and I do really love, I mean, their yarn is stunning. We have it in the shop, and it is, I love their yarn. And Lisa and Linda, who run Wool Decanted, are such lovely ladies. So and they've got some fabulous patterns as well that their yarn has been used for. But what are your thoughts? What could I do with 750 meters, basically? No, not 750. What am I talking about? It was 650 meters of yarn, and I want to use all 3 colors. So suggestions, please, in the comments. So I've got lots for you to feedback to me on. Which ones should I finish? Should I finish, for example, I think I will finish this one. Should I finish that Harlow hat, the brioche hat? What about the Shan, the one that I've only just started? I don't know about that. I'm not really convinced about that one. Anyway, let me know your thoughts. And some of the plans that I've got, should I carry on and knit those up? You know, they won't all be done at once, of course. I've only got so many hours in the day, as we all have. Or should I just think, actually, either put them back into stash or repurpose them in some way? So really welcome your thoughts on all of those. Just before I go, for those of you that are interested in our Easter Knitalong, that will be starting on Maundy Thursday, so the Thursday before Good Friday. So next Thursday, which I think is, what's the date today here in the UK? So you might not get this on the day that I've recorded it, but today is Thursday. I think it's the 21st today. So it will be the 28th of March, and we will probably go live at 6 p.m. UK time, London time, for a live YouTube. I didn't get much feedback on whether you preferred Zoom or YouTube, so we'll stick with YouTube for the moment. So Nikki will be joining us. The pattern will be released next week. Anybody that's ordered kits, they have all been dispatched today. And as soon as the pattern comes in, for those of you that also ordered the pattern, we will make sure they go out to you. That pattern comes out to you as a PDF. But if not, it will be on Ravelry under Comfort Road Knits. And I think the pattern is likely to be released probably Wednesday next week. But we'll make sure, if you're joining in with the knit along, that you've got the pattern ready to go. Beautiful pair of socks. Some of you have seen some images of it. I will pop an image up after this so you can see what they are. We do have some kits left, not many. So if you are interested in our Easter Knitalong kits, it is for a sock. I don't even know what Nikki's named it yet. She hadn't come up with a name when we last chatted. But it is a short sort of sock project. Hopefully you can knit up in a few days. We will go live next Thursday with the launch of it, and probably do another sort of knit along in the sort of days after Easter as well, so that we can catch up with you and you can ask any questions. We will set up a Ravelry group in the same way that we always have for our knit alongs. They're free to do, you know, just join in. And it's just all about taking part, connecting with other people, and being part of this wonderful knitting community that we've created. So thank you for listening to me waffle on today and show you some of my guilty secrets. Some of these have been works in progress, have been stashed away for a long time. Let me know whether you're as bad as I am about sort of these projects that are languishing in their project bags. And yeah, share your thoughts with me on what I should do with some of that yarn that I haven't even started with yet, or whether I should continue with some of these projects. Thank you so much for listening. If you liked this, please comment. I'm really looking forward to hearing what you've got to say. Please comment and like and subscribe. And yeah, I'll see you all soon. Bye.